Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the President of the Republic returns to Djibouti for international scene. 4 nights of violence in Barcelona. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic returns to the countries after an official visit to the Republic of Guinea. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, returned to the countries last night, Thursday night, after a 48 hours official visit to the Republic of Guinea after the invitations of his counterpart, Alpha Condé. The official visit of the Djiboutian President to the Republic of Guinea, which marks by the strengthening of friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries and the two peoples, was mainly based on one-to-one meetings between the two heads of state. This is a summit having done a result in a working meetings extended to the collaborations of both parties and adoptions of a series of bilateral agreements, including another highlight of the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh's official visit to the Republic of Guinea was the fact that he was awarded the highest distinctions, the Grand Cross badges of the National Orders of Merit in forces in that country. The Djibouti head of state received the medals at a gala dinners hosted by his Guinean counterpart on Wednesday evenings in his honor, and that of a large delegation is accompanying him. The Minister of Communication, Mr. Radwan Abdullahi Bahdoun, visited the Federal Republic of Somalia as part of a working mission accompanied by the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Aden Hassan Aden. The Minister of Communication met his Somali counterpart, Mr. Mohamed Abdi Hayr. The Minister visited the premises of the Mogadishu's radio and television. The series Future Theaters in final stage. Discussion is also focused on the progress of the DAR project. This flagship project will make Djibouti the hub of the region's connection, but also for the long term as an international telecommunication hub in the region. The project consists of interconnecting two main telecommunication hubs in East Africa, Djibouti and Mombasa in Kenya. Two branches of secondary interconnections will connect the main branch of the systems with Mogadishu and Bosaso in Somalia. The Somali Ministers of Communication, Mr. Mohamed Abdi Hayr, thanked the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, Djibouti of government, and its people who work day and night for the sisters nation that is Somalia. For his part, the Minister Radwan Abdullahi Bahdoun thanked the Somali ministers for the warm welcome he has received since his arrival. It also reiterates its readiness to increase the level of cooperation between the two ministerial departments in the field of telecommunications. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Labor in charge of administrative reform, Mr. Abdallah Ali Mohammed, closed the proceeding of a workshop on the implementations of the declaration services to citizens of INAP. At INAP, the declarations of services to citizens included the obligation for a department that provides services directly to citizens to make public declarations containing its objective on the quality of its services. This statement shall include the diligences with which the service should be provided and shall provide clear information on their nature's accessibility. Service to citizens include, in particular, service to the public and businesses. Two national experts provide this training for young professionals which require general generalizations in order to better implement it through the administrations. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labor, Mr. Abdallah Ali Mohammed, say this program is commonly known as a Declarations of Citizen Service of DSC, is a public document in which all the commitments of the Djibouti administration is to meet the aspirations of the population and are recorded. This seminar was part of the reforms of administrations with the objective of strengthening the capacity of civil servants who will implement this DSC. The ceremony was closed with the distributions of certificates to participants. Within the framework of development social cohesion program, the national network is organized training for councillors in 2 districts of Nasib Stadium City, in turn with the view of strengthening their skills to enable them to carry out programs in their respective district. This closing ceremony was an important moment to allow the councillors to strengthen their skills in order to better listen to the residents of their neighborhoods. The networks is devices that stimulate the community's ability to live together, neighborhood solidarity, local citizenship, and social cohesion. This initiative promotes participation in the life of the neighborhoods, exchanges, and friendliness, with a goal to help the local community need materials purchases. In his brief speech, Mr. Yusuf Hassan Nuhu expressed his congratulations to the advisors to the leadership. For his part, the Secretary General of the Minister of Social Affairs, Mr. stressed in his speech that it's always the local community that initiate the first steps toward solid solidarity. As Mr. Gele Idris Omar, he said, who was the keynote speaker, he highlighted that the aim of this development and social cohesion program was to develop partnership between neighborhoods councillors in order to strengthen national unity by forging friendly and cooperative relations between them. As part of his activities aimed at making contact the populations and the various leaders of the city of Arta, Mohammed Sheikh Hassan, the new prefect of Arta, was this morning on a trip to the Joint Military Academy of Arta, AMIA, accompanied by Mr. Elmi Bouhgoudade, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Mohammed Fouzi Ahmed, the first Deputy Prefect, Executive and the Prefectures of the was received by Colonel Major Mohammed Ali Obsiye, Director General of AMIA. The Prefect reviewed and honorary picked up and was then present to AMIA's senior managers. Subsequently, the Prefect and his delegations attend a presentation of the Academy by Colonel Muhammad Mumin Abdi, Deputy Commanders of Director of Studies. The delegation then took guided tours to the school's main facilities. On the occasions of World Food Day, a tree planting activity took place within the EMEA, namely that these terms of tree planting chosen at the national level was launched by the President of the Republic, Ismail Margele, in Damerjog, one of the sub-prefectures of Artas region. The National Agency for People with Disability has signed a partnership agreement with the Jibaha Seafood Company. Indeed, this partnership agreement was initialed by the Director General of the Mr. Duale Said Mahamoud and the managers of Jibaha Company, Mr. Timothy Gavern. The two men discussed at length the employability situations of people with disability. Director of National Agency for Persons with Disability stressed that in promoting the professional integration and employability of persons with disability, the private sector plays an important role. Jibaha employs 6 disabled people and experts to increase in the coming years. Finally, the director of the national agency thanked the Jibah manager, Mr. Timothy Cavell, for these collaborations, and the two Djiboutian shareholders of the company, respectively, Mr. Anglais Isse Goudi and Ms. Khadija Ibrahim Idris. Also, on the margins of the Science Week, a panel discussion was held at the People's Palace on Djibouti's women scientists. The aim is to highlight the work of Djibouti women scientists from the academic sphere, whether they are researchers, doctors, engineers, researchers, and teachers. The objective of this panel was to lay the groundwork for the challenges and opportunities faced by Djibouti women in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, known in its acronyms. This was an opportunity to bring together young female students, scientists, to promote women in science in Djibouti, but above all to inspire and motivate young people to pursue scientific studies. Such were the ends a series of useful answer questions to advise and show the ways for these girls and boys to realize and contribute to a better world for all. As part of the policy to fight environmental desertification in the faces of severe drought, the Ministry of Agriculture, Wild Fishery, Livestock and Fishery Resources has undertaken a planting campaign for 10,000 trees. This campaign saw the participation of the entire government and state institution, because the environment is everyone's business. In this vein, the Djibouti Armed Forces, headed by General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, did not fail to respond. Thus, more than 400 soldiers, men and women alike, participate in this highly symbolic day. These soldiers were deployed along the airport road from the military cities of Gabot 1 to the junctions of Humbli. For his part, Colonel Muhammad Wais Abane, garrison's major, was in charge of supervising this large-scale operation. In total, the 6 corps that make up the Djibouti garrison were all part in it. Participants included the Headquarters Regiment, Artillery Regiment, Air Forces Camp Sheikh Osman, the National Navy, and the Central Material Directorate. And at the aegis of the First Magistrate, His Excellency Ismail Gele, the Republic of Djibouti celebrated the World Food Day on Wednesday, 16 October 2019, early in the mornings. Indeed, the head of state, the planting tree, launches his process, which will eventually provide our country. It is with this mind that the High Command of the Gendarmerie, head by Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of the Staff of the National Gendarmerie, want to expand to President's policy for the protection of the environment in the faces of global climate change. Early in the mornings, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, officers, non-commissioned officers and non-commissioned members took part in this planting of about 100,000 trees along the National Road 1 corridors, particularly at the entrance of the Sheikh Musa Training Center. Is located at Pika 23 to the city centers. Thus, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden encouraged his staff to continue this tree planting operation. It is and should be recalled that the Republic of Djibouti is a signatory of the 1992 Rio Conventions, which promote the applications of national and even regional policy for the preservation of the environment. As part of the World Days on the 100,000 tree plantation project under the aegis of the President Muhammad Gele, the Djibouti Coast Guard took part alongside the Ministry of Agriculture in a tree planting operation. Thus, the Djibouti Coast Guard worked tirelessly along the Dorale road corridors to prepare the halls to accommodate the tree. As a result, the Djibouti Coast Guard was able to participate fully on World Food Day with the participation of civil authorities and civil society. Particularly noteworthy was the participation of Mr. Filsen Duxiye Boulale, directors of a company that manufactures leathers, Illico leathers goods in Djibouti, and has been keen to honor this national initiative aimed at protecting the environment and combating the effects of global warming. As part of the World Food Day, especially the campaigns to plant 100,000 trees through the countries, MENFOP organized a large-scale tree planting operation in all schools in the country. Thousands of students and teachers from all over the country joined hands in very early in the mornings of and planted the roots and trunks and moringa. Families should eat in primary, middle, and secondary schools. Delegation was pleasantly surprised by the strong mobilizations in each school's visit. Students and teachers, but also administrative staffs have also put their hands together, planting similar. This plant, the MENFOP Secretary General of the Ministry of Senior Managers were delighted with the mobilizations, which shows the full involvement of, above all, the beginning of the changes in mentality that will have to bring about a spirit of environmental protection when For his part, Mr. Halima Mohammed, a social entrepreneur in agriculture, said agriculturists who launched a campaign under the theme Plant a Tree, so a wind of hopes. Also pay tribute to MENFOP and to the UN agencies for the support in the campaign. The same choice expand to the ambitions to associate the idea of incubating young entrepreneurs with the wind of hope that this campaign wants to sow among young people, she said. Contact visit of the prefect of Dakhel region to Dawdawya. Also as part of the contact, the prefect of the Dakhel region, Mr. Adan Drar Musa, visit the towns of Dawdawya. This time for his visit, the regional prefect of Dakhel, Adan Drar Musa, was also accompanied by his close collaborator, the president of the regional council, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunus Arre, the deputy prefect of Yoboki, Mr. Adu Sanalase Udum, two parliamentary from the region, Mr. Muhammad Musa Isa, and Jama Gedi Adanis, the head of the Riyadh Corps, Colonel Idris Umar Alaye, the head of the regional offices of national education, Mr. Warsama Omar Warsama, as well as the head of the decentralized services. Upon his arrival, the prefect of the region, Unity region, sent his delegation first visit the primary school and this locality to learn about its state of operation. The traditional chief congratulated the new prefect on his appointment as head of the Unity region and wished him success in these new positions. For the international scene in Catalonia, once again, Barcelona was the scene of a protest against the imprisonment of 12 Catalan separatist leaders. Group of violent demonstrations burned containers, shops, and built barricades. Some have also engaged in shootings. Tensions reached its peak when a group of far-right supporters tried to approach the demonstrations, requiring the regional police to intervene. For the Spanish government, this episode of violence experienced this week are not serious enough to take direct control of the police in the region as demanded by the right-wing parties. On the other hand, he severely denounces the Catalan president Quim Torra for not having been clear enough in these condemnations of violence. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.